Hi, welcome back. My name is Tracy Fox and I'm a teacher development specialist. This is HISD at Home TV. Today, boys and girls, we're going to focus on solving addition and subtraction problems using objects, pictures, and a number line. Before we get started, there are a few things that you're going to need. So if you will at this time, go grab a notebook or some paper, grab a marker, a pencil, a colored pencil, or a crayon, because you're going to need something to write with. And at this time, you also need to go find a collection of 20 items. It could be noodles, it could be stickers, anything that you have a collection of 20 of. I happen to have 20 counters that we're going to use today. Boys and girls, to get started today, we need to warm up our math brain. And in order to do that, we're going to engage in our math routine. Today's math routine is 1 more and 1 less, and 2 more and 2 less. Parents, as we get started on this activity today, you're really going to be able to do this with any number that kids are going to interact with for their grade level. For example, in kindergarten, kids will use the number track to 10. In first grade, they'll use the number track to 20. And in second grade and above, the numbers are open that they can use. So let's go ahead and we're going to use our number track today to get started. Kids, as we get started, here's the first thing I want you to do. I want you to go ahead and draw these 2 tables on a piece of paper. So grab some paper, grab your pencil, and go ahead and write this down. Parents, these number tracks are easy to make. They're an 8.5 standard size piece of paper, and you literally just cut them, fold them in half, and then cut slits into them, and you put the numbers underneath them. So as you can see, we've got numbers from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Boys and girls, you can continue to build your table in between our numbers. So I'm thinking of a number that we're going to use on our number track today that we're going to do 1 more and 1 less with. And so that number that I chose for our first practice round is the value of 3. Okay, so I'm wondering, let's count up to 3. I have 1, 2, and 3. Boys and girls, what's 1 more than 3? If you said 4, you are absolutely correct. 3 and 1 more is the same as 4, and we can see that on our number track. I had 3, I had 1 more, and that gave me 4. Let's close our number track. Okay, now what we need to find is what's 1 less than 3. So we're going to count up to 3 again. We're going to go 1. We're going to show our numbers on our number track. 2 and 3. And I want 1 less. What's 1 less than 3? We can close our track, and we know that 1 less than 3 is what value, boys and girls? That's right, it's 2. So we're going to put that there. So I know that 1 more than 3 is 4, and 1 less than 3 is 2. Let's continue and try another one with 1 more and 1 less. So this time, boys and girls, we're going to start with the number 5. All right, here we go. We're going to use our number track again to count. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. What's 1 more than 5? 1 more than 5 is 6. So I know that I have 5. 5 and 1 more is the same as 6. Let's close our number flaps for our track. And we're going to do this again, this time with, I want 1 less than 5. So we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I want how many fewer? I want 1 less. That's exactly correct. 1 less is what number, boys and girls? The number is 4. So boys and girls, let's look at this again. 1 more than 5 is 6, and 1 less than 5 is 4. Good job at home. Let's go into our next table. And if you need a minute, go ahead and pause right here, write this down, and then we're going to get started. So we're going to look, I wonder what number. We're going to look at the number 7. Okay, let's look at the number 7. And what do we need to do? That's right, we need to count. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Boys and girls, I need to know what 2 more than the number 7 is. All right, let's see and use our track to help us. I'm at 7, and I need 2 more. There's 1, and there's 2. What was under our second flap as we put that up there? That's right, boys and girls. 2 more than 7 is 9. Okay, let's close our number track. Here we go. And we're going to count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Boys and girls, now we want 2 fewer than 7. So let's count backwards. It's 1 and 2. How many do we have? What's 2 fewer than 7? That's right, boys and girls. 2 fewer or 2 less than 7 is 5. Okay, we're going to try one more. Here we go. We're going to try the 6. Let's think about 6. All right, here we go. Let's bring out our number track. Let's cover that back up again. And we're going to count to what number, boys and girls? That's right. We're going to count to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, now what do we need? We need how many more? We need 2 more. So here's 1 more. And there's 2 more. Now let's look at it. How many do we have? We have 8. 6 and 2 more is the same as 8. All right, boys and girls, here we go. Now I need to know what's 2 fewer than 7. So we're going to close. Here we go. One more time. Okay, let's count to 6. That's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. What's 2 fewer than 6? Let's go backwards. 1 and 2. 2 fewer than 6 is what value, boys and girls? That's right. It's 4. So this is a great routine for us to use to practice our fact fluency, particularly around 1 more, 1 less, and 2 more, 2 less. Let's get ready to jump into our strategy for the day. Boys and girls, we're going to move into our strategy for the day, which is making a 10 using a 10 frame. So the first thing I need you to do is grab that pencil and a piece of paper, and we're going to go ahead and learn how to draw a 10 frame. So the first thing that we're going to do is we need to draw 6 vertical lines. And so we kind of want them to be long lines. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we've got 6 vertical lines, and we're going to draw 1 horizontal line here to connect and another horizontal line down here. And to make the 10, we're just going to draw a line down the middle. That's our first 10 frame that we need. And then right below that, we're going to do that again. So our 10 frames ready for our next set of numbers. So today we're going to draw 2 10 frames. So I've got 1 vertical line, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We're going to draw a whole horizontal line to close it on the top, another horizontal line to close it on the bottom, and we're also going to draw 1 in the middle so that we have our 10 frame. All right, so let's think about a number. When I'm thinking about this number, I'm thinking about the number 9. So I'm going to use my counters, and I want you to do this at home in your 10 frame. I'm going to go ahead and put my counters in here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. I can represent the number 9 by placing 9 counters in my 10 frames. But I'm wondering, how many more counters do you think I need to get to 10? I know I have 9, and I know that this is a 10 frame, which means that 10 counters fit in it. So I think that one more counter will equal 10. And if we do that, then I also know that 9 and 1 is the same as 10. Oh, you know what? That reminds me of the strategy that we just did, which was one more. Okay, let's go ahead and let's think about another number. I'm thinking about, let's try the number 8. So let's add our counters to our next 10 frame. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I can see in my 10 frame that I have 5 in the top row, 3 in the bottom row, and 5 and 3 is the same as 8. I wonder how many more I need to make a 10. Let me see. I see 1, 2. So 2 more. 8 and 2 more is the same as 10. So I'm going to go ahead and place my counters in there. And then we can write that down below. 8 and 2 is the same as 10. Boys and girls, a 10 frame is a great tool to use when we want to add numbers together, and it helps us get to our friendly number, which is 10. Boys and girls, let's remember our making 10 strategy with a 10 frame as we move into our activity for the day. Remember, during our activity, we're going to add and subtract problems, and we're going to solve them using objects, pictures, and number lines. But before we get into our problem that's right behind me, I want to talk about our 3-read strategy and review that with you. Remember, the very first time that we read our problem, we want to think about what is the story about. The second time we read our math story, we want to think about what's the question? What is it that I need to find out? And the third time we read it, we're really going to focus on what information do I know from the math story and what information do I need to find out? Boys and girls, we've reviewed our 3-read strategy. Now what I need you to do is I need you to grab your counters, a piece of paper, and something to write with. And I want you to go ahead and draw this on your piece of paper so you'll have your whole and your part and part. You've used this mat in class before when you've done addition and subtraction problems. And today we're going to look at a problem that uses our part whole mat. So remember, we're going to use that 3-read strategy as we continue with our math story. So let's get started. Number 1, as we read this, we want to focus on what is our story about. So track as I am reading the story to you. Corbin has 6 counters. 4 counters are red and the rest are yellow. How many yellow counters does Corbin have? So what's this story about? The math story is about Corbin and the counters that Corbin has. So let's read it a second time. This time we're going to focus on the question and what we need to figure out when we solve our problem. So let's read it one more time. Corbin has 6 counters. 4 counters are red and the rest are yellow. How many yellow counters does Corbin have? What are we trying to figure out? If I go back and reread the question, how many yellow counters does Corbin have? I know that we're trying to figure out how many yellow counters Corbin has, and I can write that in a sentence. Corbin has, I don't know that yet, so I just draw a line. So Corbin has some number of yellow counters. So when we finish our problem, we should be able to answer this in a complete sentence. Let's read it one more time. This time focusing on what information is given to me in my math story and what information am I trying to find. Corbin has 6 counters. 4 counters are red and the rest are yellow. How many yellow counters does Corbin have? Boys and girls, what does it tell us? It's telling us, and it's really awesome, that Corbin has 6 counters and 4 of those counters are red. So let's go ahead and using your part whole mat and your 10 frames, let's go ahead and start working and building this with our counters. So what do we know? We know that Corbin has 6 counters. So let's put our 6 counters here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this represents Corbin's 6 counters. Let's go to the next sentence. 4 counters are red and the rest are yellow. So what do we know, boys and girls? We know that we're going to move 4 of these counters here that represent the red, and these counters are going to move here and they're going to represent the yellow. So what do we see? We see 4 red counters. How many yellow counters do you see? You see 2, right? And if we count on, he originally started with 6. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and we can count on 5, 6. So let's answer our question to our math story. How many yellow counters does Corbin have? Looking at my part whole mat, I know that Corbin has 2 yellow counters. Let's look at our next problem. Remember, we're going to use our 3 read strategy as we work through this problem today. So the first time we read this, remember, I want you to think about what is the story about. Talina has 15 tulips. 8 tulips are pink and the rest are blue. How many blue tulips does Talina have? Think about, what's this story about? When I read the story, I know that this story is about Talina and her tulips. Some of them are pink and some of them are blue. Let's listen again to the story as I read it to you, and let's think about what is the question and what are they having me try to find out. Here we go. Talina has 15 tulips. 8 tulips are pink and the rest are blue. How many blue tulips does Talina have? What was the question? The question again is, how many blue tulips does Talina have? I'm trying to find out how many blue tulips that she has in her collection. Okay, now we're going to read it for the 3rd time. And this time, I want you to listen for what do you know and what do you need to know. So let's listen one more time. Talina has 15 tulips. 8 tulips are pink and the rest are blue. How many blue tulips does Talina have? Okay, well, what do I know? I know that she has pink tulips. Or no, I know that she has 15 tulips. And 8 of those tulips are pink and the rest of them are blue. So I know the total is 15. I know that 8 of them are pink and the rest are blue. So at this point, guys, we can actually start to build our model. And what is it that we know? We know the total. So I'm going to go ahead and write the total that Talina has a total of 15 tulips. What else do we know? We know that of the 15 tulips, 8 of them are pink. So I know that 8 tulips are what color? These are pink. And what am I trying to find out? I'm trying to find out what those blue tulips are. I don't know how many blue tulips she has, but I can draw another bar here and say that I don't know this, and we're going to label this the blue tulips. Okay? So I've modeled it. That helps show that I understand the information in the question. So now, boys and girls, what we need to do is we're going to build a double 10 frame to help us. because I have more than 10, but I do not have more than 20. And so we're going to draw our double 10 frame. And remember, when we draw this, each 10 frame needs 6 vertical lines. And then we're going to close the top with a horizontal line. We're going to close the bottom with a horizontal line. And we are going to then draw a horizontal line down the middle. I'm so excited that y'all are doing this with me. We're going to draw another 10 frame. So that means another 6 horizontal, another 6 vertical lines. And then we need a horizontal line to close the top, a horizontal line to close the bottom, and a horizontal line down the middle to make another 10 frame. So we could count by 10. This is 10. This is 20. But how many tulips did Talina have? She actually had 15. So what we can do, boys and girls, is we can go ahead and start filling in our 10 frame. So I know that this is 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Am I done? No, I still need 5 more tulips. So I'm going to go ahead and pull those up here. So I got 10. This is 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So boys and girls, I have now represented the 15 tulips that Talina has. But what do I know? I know that she has 8 pink tulips. So do I have 8 tulips here? No, I only have 5, but here I have 10. Well, what do I know about 8? I know that 8 is actually 2 less than 10. So at this time, I know that these 8 are going to represent, these 8 represent what? They represent my pink tulips. How many of those pink tulips did I have? I have 8 pink tulips. So what happens to the 2 tulips that I took away? Well, I need to know how many of them are blue. I know that they're 15, so I take the 2 tulips and I move them to my other 10 frame. So if these are 8 pink tulips, what do these represent? That's right, these represent the blue tulips. How many blue tulips do I have? I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This represents the 7 blue tulips. So far, boys and girls, I know that 15 minus 8 is the same as 7. Okay? So let's continue and let's verify our answer using a number line. So what do we know at this point? We know that we started with 15 tulips, right? So I'm going to go ahead and at the end of my number line, this is my 15 blue tulips, or my 15 tulips, I'm sorry. These are my 15 tulips. And I know that we have 8 pink tulips. So I can represent that here. I can use our math routine that we did this morning and also the 10 frame routine where we made 10s. I know that to get to 10, that is a jump of 2 more. So I know that I can jump 2, and that's going to get me to 10. And then I'm going to make a jump of 10 to 15, and I know that that's 5. So if I look at the 2 and the 5, 2 and the 5 is the same as 7. So these represent the 7 blue tulips. Boys and girls, so what do we know and how do we answer the question about how many blue tulips Talina has. We're going to answer it in words. So write this down on your paper. Talina has, what did we figure out? She has how many blue tulips? She has 7 blue tulips. Boys and girls, it's time for practice. This is a great time to ask an adult at home to go ahead and grab a cell phone, pause the TV, and take a picture of what we would like you to practice this week. So let's begin. Kindergarten, you're going to use objects in a 10 frame to solve this problem. Josie made 9 cookies for her mom. 6 cookies are chocolate chip, and the rest of the cookies are oatmeal. How many oatmeal cookies did Josie make for her mom? Grade 1, you're going to represent your problem with a bar model and solve it with double 10 frames and a number line. Your problem is this. Cooper bought 15 donuts at the bakery. 8 donuts have sprinkles, and the rest of the donuts have no sprinkles. How many donuts did Cooper buy with no sprinkles? And finally, grade 2. We want you to represent the problem with a bar model and then solve it with a number line and a strategy of your choice. Your problem to practice is Mrs. Fox has 152 folders in her classroom closet. 89 of the folders are blue and the rest of the folders are green. How many green folders does Mrs. Fox have in her closet? I want to thank you for joining us today on HISD TV at Home. If you need additional resources, please visit our HISD at Home website. Thank you once again. My name is Tracy Fox, and have an amazing math day.